Hola, bienvenidos. Welcome back to Spanish for Beginners. This is Lesson 5 of Course 1. I'm your teacher, Isabella. And before we get started, pause this video and go grab a pen and a piece of paper because this lesson is very vocabulary heavy and it will be much easier if you are able to write down the vocabulary. You'll learn it so much quicker. All right, go do that. Are you back? Okay, let's get into the lesson. As always, let's start by reviewing the words from the previous lesson really quickly. Repeat after me. Azul, rojo, amarillo, verde, marrón, morado, rosa, rosado, negro, gris, naranja, la mesa, la silla, la bolsa, el libro, el espejo, el bolígrafo. Alrighty, let's get into today's lesson. Today we are talking about one of my favorite things in the whole world, food, or la comida. La comida. Today we're going to practice a lot of food vocabulary as well as get into some verbs as well to practice ordering food. Are you ready? Alrighty, let's do it. Our first food is el pan. El pan. El pan. Pan is bread. Next we have el arroz. El arroz. El arroz. Remember that the double R in Spanish is rolled, so rrr. And the Z in Spain Spanish makes the TH sound. Right? And in Latin American Spanish, it's much closer to how we pronounce it in English. So, if you are using Spanish pronunciation, it is el arroz. If you're using Latin American pronunciation, it is el arroz. Okay? And I just want to say that it really does not matter which one you choose. Use whichever one is most natural for you, whichever one is easier for you. If you choose the pronunciations that are easier for yourself, you're going to have a much easier time speaking with fluency as you progress in your Spanish language journey. Okay? Just keep that in mind. If you want to do a mix of Spain Spanish and Latin American Spanish, you do it, because it means that you will speak with more confidence and more fluency, and that's what's most important. All right. Tangent over. Let's keep going. Next we have el huevo. El huevo. El huevo. This is the word for egg. The H in Spanish, remember, is always silent. Always, always, always. I always hear Americans say huevo, and that is not correct. It is huevo. El huevo. Good. Okay, let's get into meat. La carne. Meat. La carne. Our first meat is el cerdo. El cerdo. El cerdo. This is the word for pork. And yes, you're right. This makes a S in Latin American Spanish. So, Spain Spanish, cerdo. Latin American Spanish, cerdo. I'm sure you see the pattern. And so for the rest of this lesson, I will not repeat this. Or S, you know the difference. Interestingly though, cerdo also means pig. So in Spanish, they do not make the distinction between pig and pork. It is just cerdo. Next we have el pollo. El pollo. El pollo. This is chicken. El pollo. Up next, la carne de vaca, or la carne de res. La carne de vaca is used in Spain and la carne de res is used in Latin America. This is important. If you are in Spain, la carne de vaca, literally the meat of a cow, you must use this in Spain. In Latin America, you must use this. La carne de vaca, la carne de res. Good. Up next, el pescado. El pescado. El pescado. This is the word for fish. All right, let's get into my favorite part of food, the vegetables. Las verduras. Las verduras. Las verduras. Our first verdura is la lechuga. La lechuga. Lettuce. La lechuga. Next, la cebolla. La cebolla. La cebolla. This is onion. La cebolla. Up next, el ajo. El ajo. El ajo. This is garlic. El ajo. Up next, el pimiento. El pimiento. El pimiento. This is pepper. El pimiento. Coming up, la zanahoria. La zanahoria. La zanahoria. Carrot. La zanahoria. This one is difficult, I know, so take a few minutes to practice saying this one a few times. La zanahoria. 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 Continuing on, el tomate. El tomate. El tomate. This is tomato, and I know it's technically a fruit, but just cut me some slack. Up next, las frutas. Las frutas. Las frutas. La manzana. La manzana. La manzana. This is apple. La manzana. Up next, el plátano. El plátano. El plátano. This is banana. El plátano. Up next we have la piña. La piña. La piña. Up next, la fresa. La fresa. La fresa. This is strawberry. La fresa. Coming up, la uva. La uva. La uva. This is grape. La uva. Up next, let's get into bebidas. La bebida. Drinks. La bebida. Our first drink is leche. La leche. La leche. La leche. Good. El té. El té. El té. This is tea. El té. Up next, azúcar. 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 This is sugar. Do you remember the other drinks we have learned in this course? We learned café, agua, and cerveza. Remember those, also important. Next we have miel. 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 This is honey. Miel. Good. Now, let's talk about how to ask for food. This word is quiero. 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 Translated, this means I want. And it might seem rude to English speakers to say, I want this food. However, in Spanish, it is the normal way of speaking. It is not seen as rude to say, I want blank. Quiero. Quiero. And then con. Con. This is a word we've seen before, and it means with. Very simple. Con. Perfect. All right, let's do some practice. Here we have two very simple sentences, and I would like you to fill in the blanks. There's no right or wrong answer here. As long as you get your type of food correct, you're all good. So, practice these sentences. I'll give you 30 seconds. Try them multiple times with different answers. Alrighty. Here are some examples of things you could have said. Quiero arroz con pollo y pimiento. Say that with me. Quiero arroz con pollo y pimiento. Quiero arroz con pollo y pimiento. Quiero una manzana y leche con miel. Quiero una manzana y leche con miel. Quiero una manzana y leche con miel. Good. All right, there's a lot of vocabulary today, like I told you, so let's say all of these together one more time. Comida, el pan, el arroz, el huevo, la carne, el pollo, el cerdo, la carne de vaca, la carne de res, el pescado, las verduras, la lechuga, la cebolla, el ajo, el pimiento, la zanahoria, el tomate, las frutas, la manzana, el plátano, la piña, la fresa, la uva, la bebida, la leche, el té, azúcar, miel. Quiero, con. Great job. How's your brain? Does it hurt? It's okay. These are really great words to start with when you're first learning your Spanish foods. Sorry, I forgot the word food, even though we're talking about food. But either way, felicidades, you did it. There will be more food lessons in the future, but this was a great way for us to start with the basics and for you to start learning the foods. Little homework assignment for you. I would like you to go into your kitchen and find as many words on the list as you possibly can. If you have those foods in your kitchen, go ahead and practice saying them when you see them. Okay? In our next lesson, we will simply be going over the alphabet. It'll be a little bit of a break lesson. Until then, hasta luego!